Ladies and gentlemen, hey, it's Jesse from the original Fast and the Furious, and you're listening to Granny Shifting, the Fast and Furious podcast.
Welcome to Granny Shifting. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Jason.
And this is the Granny Shifting podcast, where we take Fast and Furious and slow it down.
1 minute at a time.
1 minute at a time.
I'm trying to speed this up here.
Okay.
You're really slowing it down. This movie is slow because we go 1 minute a week, but when we talk really slow, we lose listeners.
Oh, is that what happens?
So it's slow to get through the movie, but the action here is fast and tight-packed.
And furious.
And furious. So this is this is minute 93 of the Fast and Furious, and this minute starts with Dom's foot on the gas, and you see his big, wide automatic brake pedal, and it has like skateboard grip tape on it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of funny to me, because I guess that works. And you can even see it's worn off in the corner a little bit.
Yeah. Well, when you're wearing Timberlands to race.
He's wearing Timberlands. Or what's Kmart's version of those?
Everlast.
Everlast. So my dad, I always thought this was funny. My dad worked carpentry since he was
11.
12. And he always bought Kmart boots.
Okay.
Like the cheap, they're like $20.
Right, yeah.
And then you get like a nice pair of
Red Wings.
They're $200.
Right.
And when I started my job where I needed to wear steel toes, everybody's like, your shoes are your livelihood. You got to get good ones, blah, blah, blah. So I got like decent ones. I think I got Timberlands actually.
Yeah.
But
they do make good boots.
I asked my dad, I'm like, why do you always go for them? And he's like, oh, they're great on roofs. Because the bottoms are so soft. It's like all the like tread on them is like a really soft,
Oh, really?
like gummy tread almost that it grips roofs. Is that how you say it? Roofs?
Yeah.
Roofs?
I say roofs.
Roofs. What a weird plural. It grips the roof really well.
But it's spelled roofs. It's not like
Roofs.
hooves. Yeah. Hoof to hooves.
Yeah. You don't spell it with a V.
Or
roofs.
Or gruff to grooves.
So roofs is technically correct. We should ask Guacamole. Isn't she like a...
Roofs? Like woofs?
No, roof is like a accent. Roofs.
Yeah, roofs.
But we say roofs.
Roofs. I don't know.
The word's starting to sound weird to me.
Yeah, that's how it gets.
Anyhow, my dad always preferred those. And at my job, people would have a fit if you had a cheap pair of boots.
What job? As a
project manager. Yeah. I wasn't on my feet that much. I sat at a desk. But I still have to go out on the job site. So it didn't matter. Like a pair of boots would last me like 2 years. And other people would go through them in 6 months.
Did the company pay for boots?
No.
Our boss will pay for boots if you buy composite or steel toe.
Okay.
But like working in the office, I just wear sneakers to work.
Everybody complained, other companies pay for the boots and blah, blah, blah. And I told my boss, like, you should probably just do that because you're putting out $100 a year. I mean, you're paying a guy $60,000.
Right.
Pay an extra $100 and it feels like a whole benefit they get.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like it would pay itself back from my company's taking care of me. This is nice, you know.
Right.
But no.
And isn't a pair of boots cheaper than a workers' comp claim when they drop a I-beam on their toe?
Well, you still had to have steel toes. That was a requirement.
What if you couldn't afford them?
You couldn't work there. Actually, we actually had loaner boots in our stock room, like for visitors that would come. Because to set foot on our shop floor, you had to have steel toes on.
So what if somebody, like, sometimes just looking at them, you can't tell the difference. So if you're just wearing boots and they're not steel-toed because your steel toes wore out and you had this extra pair and you wore them just for the day till you could get to the store, till you could get to Kmart and buy a new pair.
Right.
What if you had an accident that day? Like, would you be fired because you didn't have steel toes on?
I mean, you get like a safety violation, whatever. Normally, they just yell at you.
But there would be a workers' comp claim.
Oh, and they
getting
wouldn't
injured at work.
They'd probably get out of it
because you didn't have
because
steel
you didn't
toed.
follow the safety
That's good.
protocols. But I had our assistant shop supervisor stomp on my foot one time because he thought I didn't have steel toes on, and he was trying to prove a point. But I got those like rider shoes off of eBay or Amazon. They're like $25, and they're like a mesh slip-on shoe, and the bottom's like a silicone tread.
Okay.
That's supposed to, like in the commercials, they always showed like people walking on nails because they have like
they
have that like Kevlar lining in them, so you can't penetrate them, and then they have a steel toe on them. Excuse me. They didn't have laces even. They had like a drawstring, like a elastic lace sort of thing on a drawstring. So I could just slip them on, and they're like mesh, so like super breathable. They looked like barely even sneakers.
Okay.
Have you seen them?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen commercials where they're like stepping on nails and stuff like that.
Yeah. So everybody, like people would have a fit when they're like, you can't wear those. I'm like, why not? They're like, you need steel toes. I'm like, they are steel toes.
Yeah.
They're like sneakers, but I don't know.
Yeah. There's some guys that work
$30
that wear steel-toed sneakers. They look like sneakers, but they're...
We had some places I couldn't wear them. That you had to have ankle, like had to cover your ankle, and then a couple places required. I forget what they call it, but it's this big padding that goes on the front of the laces. You ever seen that?
Oh yeah.
Because if you're in like a real heavy machinery place, I don't know. The whole thing seemed blown out of proportion to me. Like,
yeah.
Do you know anybody that had their toes crushed?
No.
I mean, I feel like for how big of a deal they make it, you think it'd be like a regular occurrence.
Right.
And I also feel like I understand safety when it affects other people, but if I make the choice to wear sneakers and my toe gets crushed, I mean, that's all me. And that should, I don't think there should be a workers' comp claim for that kind of stuff.
It's like
you make the choice. We're given the opportunity and we were made aware there's a risk, but I should be allowed to take it from there. It's
like how Tucker Carlson fights against smoking regulations and seatbelt regulations.
Yeah.
It's not like he's pro lung cancer.
Right.
But he's like, when it's your own safety, you can make your own choices.
Right.
Somebody else can't tell you what you can do to keep yourself safe.
Right.
If it's affecting other people, then yes.
It's
but you not wearing a seatbelt is your own safety.
Yeah.
You not wearing a helmet is your own safety.
I wonder what he'd say about legalizing drugs, because I feel the same way about that. I feel like it'd be more beneficial if we just educated everybody.
Right.
So people are aware of the risks, and then people can make their own choices.
Right.
If they want to do a certain drug or not, because it's like it works with alcohol.
Right.
We're educated on alcohol. It's regulated. So you know, like, this is a 5% beer. You know how you'll feel after 2 of them.
Right.
But it's not like you buy some cocaine on the street. Like, I mean, if I found some cocaine and brought it here and I was like, all right, let's try this. You'd be like, all right, how much should we do? And I'd be like, I have no idea.
Right.
Like, do we mix it in water and drink it? Like a tablespoon or like a teaspoon? Like, I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're supposed to snort that.
Right.
But
right. If you weren't educated,
what if you had to inject it? Like, there's a thing with a spoon and like a lighter? I don't know. How,
heroin? Isn't that heroin? Meth?
Or meth? I don't know.
You smoke meth.
They should teach us.
Yeah, nobody. I mean, this was
and sell it with measurements on it.
Right. Yeah.
And
it's like when
I'm serious though, but it'd be more like, here are the risks. This is how much you can take safely. This is how much other risks become involved. Like, at this point, you're not safe to drive, just like we do with alcohol. At this point, your lungs could shut down, and if you do it at this frequency, you can become addicted, or it affects these other things, you know.
Right.
And then let people make their own choices.
Yeah.
Rather than like the 90s, it was like, this is your brain on weed, and it's like an egg getting smashed.
Right.
It turns out that's actually not your brain on weed.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Anyhow.
So don't wear your seatbelts.
Pro-drug.
Take drugs responsibly.
Cancer.
Take drugs responsibly.
No, you can't.
You took away from today?
I would never recommend that now.
What, taking drugs responsibly?
You can't take it responsibly if you're buying it off the street.
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like moonshine.
I've never been to a dispensary, but do they have that kind of thing there? It's like, okay, this whatever, this brownie or this gummy or this.
I think it tells you
whatever.
like THC percentage and CBD percentage.
They need like that label that they have on like kids ibuprofen. It's like for this body weight, take this much for this. You know what I mean? Like a kid's ibuprofen is like 8 to 12 pounds.
I mean, they literally do that with alcohol, right?
Right.
Like if you are this body weight, this is how many drinks you can have before you're over the legal driving limit, right? I remember getting a card.
Oh, really?
In Dare that had like a chart of like male or female, body weight, and then drinks.
Is there when it comes to alcohol, is there like if you drink a lot of it, what do they call that? You get like
tolerance.
Yeah. Does your tolerance actually increase? So if
but it doesn't change your blood alcohol level. Like think about somebody that's never drank and they have one drink and they're like, ooh.
So if you're 200 pounds and it's your first beer, it's gonna affect you differently than if you're 200 pounds and it's your 1,000th beer.
Right.
But your blood alcohol is going to be the same on each one.
So you might actually be very safe to drive and test not
illegal.
Yeah, test illegal.
See, that's putting other people at risk. So yeah, that should be enforced.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
There we go. And that is minute 93.
We didn't start it yet.
All right, we're going to start. He's got grip tape on his brake pedal. How did we get into that?
I don't know.
Was it the grip tape?
It was I don't
backtrack. Drugs. No, what led us to that? Freedom of choice. Safety. Steel toes.
Steel toes. He is wearing Timberlands.
Timberlands. His shoes. There we go.
Yeah. We got it.
And that's Granny Shifting Podcast in a nutshell. All right. So they're in the tunnels.
Yeah.
Escaping Mexico. And they hit a jump. And Phoenix is like into it.
Yeah,
he's looking a little crazy.
This.
He's like,
he's like a dog chasing a mouse.
Or a fire truck.
Cat chasing a mouse. Like, this is going to end for you, and I'm going to enjoy that.
Look at that. Yeah. This looks like they're driving on carpet here.
I know. I wondered what this was, if it was concrete or if it was sand.
So there's not a lot of dust, or is there? Is there dust in the tunnel? It would be a huge benefit to know these tunnels. Because it's tight, it's dark, there's turns. He comes up to a Y
like
here.
Their car barely fits in it. Like, I don't think you could open your door.
And you have to be able to react at speed. Like, if you knew the tunnel, you can know, like, oh, I can go this fast, but there's a tight corner up here and I got to slow down.
What if he was only going like 10 miles an hour? What would happen then?
What do you mean? He could probably drive very normally through here.
Right, but Brian...
What would you do? Just ram him?
Yeah, would he just like push him along?
Yeah, I don't know.
Brake check him.
Like, what's Phoenix's plan here? Because Boss Man's with Brian.
He can't just wreck him.
He could maybe shoot him.
He's just hoping next to him. He's just hoping that he gets lost and ends up in a dead end.
Yeah.
Oh. So they come to a fork in the road and a fork in the tunnel. And Braga looks up at Brian. Brian doesn't know which way to go.
Braga has a smirk, right? Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Do you think Braga knows which way is the right way?
He shouldn't.
Yeah.
This isn't his thing.
Yeah. Right is right.
So Brian goes right. And then...
But Phoenix follows him.
Right. Yeah. Phoenix follows him. And then he says, that's it, baby. End of the road. And Braga's like, now what? But it's also like, you're with him, and he's going really fast.
Right.
And we see a dead end up ahead.
Right. But Brian can somehow see...
I think he guesses.
That
kind of see this.
Right before the dead end, there's a bunch of wood.
On the left.
Like skids. A skid wall.
It looks like, if you played Call of Duty Zombies, how you cover the windows.
Yeah.
Bunch of planks just nailed haphazardly across. Why would they build a road with a dead end here?
I don't know. Well...
And it barely...
You would think that you would need at some point, it's like on a one-way, when you like need to get over because there's a car coming the other way.
Oh.
Not a one-way, but a one-lane road.
Like passing area.
Right.
Especially with like rail cart. Well, this isn't a real mine though.
Yeah. What are you looking for?
Just clicking through here.
Oh.
just to see. So he chooses to bust through this wooden wall, not knowing what's on the other side.
Yeah.
And luckily, the other side is the left
The left
of
lane.
the Y.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, there
We
you
can see him bust right there. It's a lot tighter.
And this
from
is
side.
2 lanes over here, really.
Oh, this is a big wide tunnel.
Yeah.
Is that the same car?
I was gonna say it doesn't look like a Subaru,
Oh,
but I think it's just the lights are stretched out.
because of its fast motion.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
the Torino's in hot pursuit, follows him through the wall.
Phoenix screams as he goes through, but Brian takes control and
All
back on
drive.
track.
He should be losing him. All
Nope.
drive, corners, whatever. So
But
they're
Dom
out.
is so far behind, he doesn't know which way to go.
That's true.
But apparently, there's no.
I mean,
badge.
I would follow the tracks of the people in front of me.
But it doesn't matter which way you go because each way leads to the same place, anyways.
Yeah, and he's got a cartel member right behind him,
Yeah.
and he goes left. Good for him.
Yeah.
And the cartel member pulls his gun out.
Is that left?
Yeah, he
I mean, it
went
looked like left, but here's the split.
Oh, he
right?
definitely went left at that Y.
Yeah.
So he went the same way?
So is this a different split?
Maybe it was a 3-way Y and we didn't see the really far right turn.
A menage a Y.
A menage a Y.
Menage a trois Y.
So he makes the left, but the guy that was shooting at him was paying more attention to shooting at him than driving.
Right.
And has a scared look on his face. Doesn't make the corner. Smashes into... That almost looked like the Y. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
But I was thinking, I don't think you'd like this tunnel is outlined in timbers that I'm assuming are supporting the mountain above it.
Right.
I don't think you'd want to wreck into them.
No, I wouldn't.
And this guy did, and I was half wondering if the whole tunnel would collapse in, because wouldn't that be great?
That would be.
Trap 50 people in the tunnel.
This is
It's like evil,
ridiculous. This part right here. The
Okay.
Subaru's trucking along.
though. Oh, yeah.
And-
Brian's trying to outrun him, so he's giving it all he's got.
Right. And the Torino pulls into the right lane and pulls up right beside him.
Casually.
Yeah.
Like, and Phoenix looks over,
Yeah.
and now they're talking to each other through the window.
Wow.
Braga
just
says,
yells,
come on. But like,
Like, what are you doing?
and
Get
remember,
this guy.
there's like, it's a double wide part of the tunnel, but the middle has big 12 by 12 columns every so often. So it's
Right.
not like he can just tap him,
Right.
because he could hit one of those.
Yeah. And that would probably wreck something.
Yeah. Is Phoenix wearing cargo pants?
Well, I think you're only seeing like the bottom 6 inches of his pants.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a pocket.
That's a Dickies patch.
Well, respect to Phoenix, though. His Torino is a manual transmission.
Yeah. And Brian's Subaru is as well.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of these older cars are often not.
Yeah.
So
And that's where
that is
93 ends. So they're still in the tunnels. How many more minutes in the tunnels?
One. They're about to pop
You
out.
think we get out next
Well,
minute?
Brian's popping out next minute.
Okay.
Dom maybe a little behind.
Yeah. All right. Let's find out.
We'll see you next week.
On Granny Shifting. And I'm Ryan.
And I'm Jason.
And don't forget,
Winning's winning.